This is 365801 and this is another buddy reading vlog, and this is going to be for Rabbit Man, Tiger Man. So we have Rabbit Man, Tiger Man here. I just brought this up the road. We only have 2 volumes in June, so they are a little bit harder to get hold of. There are more volumes available for this series in Japanese now, but at the time of being printed, if we look at the printing dates, which are always very useful and interesting and fascinating for me. This was originally published in Japanese in 2009 and then 2011 by June Manga. Let's see. The names are always quite interesting. And then if we look at volume 2, we know that this was published 2011. Yep, 2011. But 2010 in Japan. There we go, 2010. So 2009, 2010, and this was September 2011, and this was, I was like, even the months, I'm really fascinated. May. So this was quite a quick release in 2011. So if you didn't pick it up, this is at the point in time when they started to just slow right down. I assume that they do not have the license for this anymore. But at the time of this, 2009, 2010, Akira Honma was printing this in a publication, and I'm not entirely sure, so don't quote me on this, but I will have to do some digging if it went out of publication or something like that. But she had started volume 3 and she'd had like 2 or 3 chapters of volume 3 already done, but then it stopped, it went on hiatus, and I don't know why. I'll have to check back on Manga updates. I will get back to you. It's just a quick Google search. But it has now been republished with brand new covers and new artwork and stuff. Volumes 1, 2, 3, 4, and now volume 5 is coming out. I think volume 5 is the final one because it's coming out with a box. So you can purchase a box for your box set, and I'm like, damn, I want, because I really found this fun the first time I read it. This will be a reread for me, but it's been ages since I read it. When I first got this, ages and ages ago. It's probably down as being unread. It might be down as read, I don't know. But I really enjoyed it. It's fun. I do have some other Akira Honma works, which I might give a wee read of. I don't know, I'll text Katie and see what she's thinking. I don't know if she has them, but I have read this, but I haven't read my other Akira Honma, and the whole point of this is to read things once, as a buddy read, but also to get through some of my unread collection, which I have way too much of. But yeah, so 5 volumes and a box set, and I'm like, I want the box now. I want it. I also really want to be able to read it in English, and I doubt that's going to happen. So yeah, some pretty good titles. So it's going to be a quick little vlog, probably not very much happening. Let's go and see if we can find the other Akira Honmas that I've got. So here in this bottom drawer is all of the drama queens, and I'm pretty sure I should have some. Oh, they're right there. Akira Honmas. So these are kind of tricky to get hold of. They're a bit more difficult. Last Portrait and The Judged, which I just thought looked really interesting. But yeah, these are the other 2 I have not ever read. And I think they're a little bit older because obviously these are drama queen titles, and so when it comes to drama queen, they're a bit older than Judy, especially because obviously Rabbit Man and Tiger Man have been published in 2011, so there's a bit of development of art styles as well. So yeah, I might give these a wee go. So yeah, I'm going to do a wee bit of digging around though. What's the story? What's the story, Morning Glory, about Rabbit Man, Tiger Man? Just because I like these kinds of stories. I like when things have a resurgence. Like, did it have a huge following? Does Akira Honma have a big following? How much is Akira Honma actually published? I don't know. I know. I'm going to do some digging around. Back of Manga Updates is your friend. Is my friend. I really enjoy reading these kind of things. So yeah, I will check in when I've actually started reading this. So it's a little bit later. I haven't started it yet. I've been cleaning things and I made myself some lovely fried rice because I got some prawns. But I've just fried them out separately because I don't know. I sometimes feel like it's just better to have them then like on them rather than in it. You know? Maybe you don't. I don't know. Anyway, I made fried rice. Kind of, I haven't done it like this in a while. But with like lettuce because I had an iceberg and I was like, oh yeah, I quite like it. Do you guys put lettuce in your fried rice? I just like the greenery when I'm like wanting a plain one. So I've got some bacon and ham and carrot and egg and spring onion and lettuce, and it's kind of like that with rice, some soy sauce, garlic, ginger, and a tiny bit of chili just for a bit of heat. And I fried up the prawns in garlic oil. So should be nice with a wee drizzle of sesame oil and some sesame seeds on top. So this is what I'm gonna have. So yeah, we'll see how far I get with Rabbit Man, Tiger Man. I might start it tonight, but I also am in the middle of cleaning things, so I might just keep on cleaning. I think I want my house to be clean and tidy and organized. So yeah, that's what I'm gonna have. I'm also listening to an audiobook. I have no idea what it's called. What's it called? Football Sunday? Something like that. But the Sunday is a Sunday, like an ice cream sundae. And it's hilarious. It's very southern. It's all southern voices and they speak like that. And I'm like, oh, that sounds great. You can laugh, it's fine. Some British people are not very good at doing American voices, and some American people are not very good at doing British voices. But yeah. Very southern. It's all about that. Anyway, it's quite funny so far, so I'm gonna have a wee listen to that while I'm finishing this. But yeah, I'm gonna proud of myself. So it's been been a day or two. I did speak to Katie, so we're not going to do these. We're just gonna do these, which is good actually. Because I'm not feeling great. It's been a couple of days. Trying not to cough. But I've kind of developed some sort of weird cough. It's been quite bad for the past couple of days. It's one of those that talking, so I'm not going to be talking much. I feel like I need to breathe a lot more. I don't know. I haven't checked for the, the C virus. But I haven't really been out and about much, so I don't know how I could have got it if it is that. I don't think it is, but I think it's just a cough. And also because I was cleaning a lot of the dust and stuff, and I have severe dust and dust mite allergy, so it might be that. But it's like one of those coughs that's constantly there. So yeah, I'm not feeling so great. But yeah, I'm just gonna get this started. I am wearing, I'm gonna show you this, overly large leggings. My sister brought up a pair of extra I don't know, extra large leggings, and she bought two, and she was like, one is absolutely huge on me and I'm not going to wear them that often. They're just going to be slouchy, lounge around the house leggings. So yeah, she gave me a pair of grey ones, and they are really look at them, they're huge and actually very, very comfy. But I usually have leggings that are a bit tighter, but this like I can get like a whole handful of them. And I looked at myself in the mirror, and you know what they look like? They look like Regency era trousers for men. So I'm like, cool, that's a look. I'm rocking a look. My back's sore. I'm not feeling great, but I'm gonna sit down and have a wee cup of coffee and read volume 1. So I've just finished chapter 1. I have read this, so I know what the story's about, but it's been a while. I do like the artwork, isn't it great? And that's a really cool tattoo. I know he's supposed to be Yakuza, but still, it's a cool tattoo. It also very much reminds me of the jumper from Twittering Birds. If you know, you know. The jumper is hilarious, Twittering Birds. But it's pretty much the same image. It is, right? Like, it pretty much is. So yeah, that on a jumper. I like this first chapter. It's funny. It's got lots of, like, you know, the whole reference to the moon. So here you've got your moon window or moon viewing window and the moon and all of the bamboo and the rabbit and the tiger and all of those kinds of things. But I do like how, like when they have the reference to his name, Uzuki, and they talk about how he is, he has the old name for one of the months. He's like really, really strong. Uzuki. So the old character for April. And that's something that when they make reference to these things, I'm like, I want a list. I need to go and search. So it makes me want to learn more about the Japanese culture, which is something that doesn't really get talked about a lot in terms of yaoi or BL. Is, for me personally, I'm like an old lady, so I've been reading it for a while. I have learned so much through reading BL because it sparks an interest in something like, you know, the old names. Like when it was, what was it? Jinjo Romantica? And one of his pen names, Usagi-san's pen names has Yayoi in it, and which is, I think, the old name for March. So it's things like that that makes me, like, I've learned a lot of cultural things through reading BL, and I think that's kind of cool. I like the scene in the hospital when they're introduced to him. So the whole premise is that we've got Uzuki, who's a surgeon, and he ends up helping Nonami one night, who's been shot. And then Nonami decides that he's fallen in love with his Florence Nightingale and has to go to the hospital to try and find this person. But he thinks that it's a woman called Suzuki, not a man called Uzuki. And it's like comedy of errors. It's not supposed to be taken seriously. The Yakuza in this is not like the scary Yakuza full of amazing tension. It's very much got the comedy side of it, which is fine for me. I quite like that. This is just one of the best scenes. I really like that when he was describing what the person was like, and they'd literally just had the conversation about him having the name for April and having the Japanese character for rabbit in his name. And he says the person was a bit like this, and he's like, oh, it sounds like a rabbit. And they both turn around and look at him, and it's just all these little things about like the intuition and him, and he's saying that the tiger on his back didn't roar. But yeah, I do like Akira Honma's art style. It's got this mix of cutesy fun as well as the dark and brooding Yakuza thing down really, really well. So yeah, I'm enjoying it. I will keep on reading because it's fun. I'm enjoying it. So I'm at this point, I don't know which chapter it is, but we're about a good chunk through. And at this point in the story, we've been getting to see the two of them kind of getting to know each other and developing maybe some feelings, and certainly hanging around the hospital and just interacting in funny ways, because it is quite humorous. We've also got like a behind the scenes, like what's going on with the Yakuza storyline, and the political shenanigans of the Yakuza, like all kind of the behind the scenes stuff, where you know that there's the old boss who's got cancer and is going to pop his clogs, and then it's like, oh, who's going to take over? And of course, we've got the danger of what might be. So this is a really good scene. I wanted to talk about this scene because in a video that I made fairly recently, it's up on my Patreon probably, I talk about how annoying it is when sexual desire is presented in a way of like, no, 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 yes, yes, yes. And it's that whole not owning up to sexual desire and therefore putting it into a assault based kind of setting. And so for me it's because it's duplicitous, because it's kind of a bit hypocritical to have a, say for example, this particular manga that I was talking about was a woman who was being forced to engage in sexual activities, and I was like, yeah, okay, if that's what you like, if it's the sexual assault is a fantasy, is a sexual fantasy that you want to engage in, that's fine. I'm not yucking your yum. But to put the forced sexual activity as a means of negating your own responsibility for your own sexual desire, and that's something that's comes up a lot in romance, not just BL, but in romance in general, where one of the characters is being forced to engage in sex and is absolutely loving it, but because they're being forced, it's not their fault that they're loving it. And it's that sort of negation of ownership of your sexual desire and attraction and enjoyment of sex that I think is a little bit unhealthy and very 1950s. You know, women are mothers and wives, and they're not supposed to enjoy sex, and they're not supposed to own up to that. And so I like this section here, especially because Uzuki has realized that he has feelings for Nonami, but he specifically says that he will have sex with him as a means of making him satisfied, so that he and his underling Taka, who I love, will leave the hospital so that they can be rid of this Yakuza. For the good of the hospital, he will sleep with Nonami, whereas he himself 100% recognizes that he is not doing it for that purpose. He's doing it for himself. He wants to sleep with Nonami. He wants to have this, as he says, in this last section. I'm sorry, Yakuza-san, that he's the one doing it. It turns out I'm the bad guy here, but I pushed all the blame on you so that I could justify this one illicit night together. And I think that's actually a really good point about this manga, is that this character is wanting this sexual. He's owning up to it in his own mind. He's not doing that in front of the person, that's fine. But we as the reader, we as the consumer of this story, know the inner workings of this character's mind. He's not doing it. You know, if the mangaka Akira Honma had not put in this, I feel like it would have been a different story. But the fact is, the creator, the mangaka, is saying this character is fully aware of what they're doing and why they're doing it, and we're going to let you know that, so that you know that this isn't their first time together isn't sexual assault. And also the fact that he says things like, yeah, I can have sex with you, but my heart might just be crying. So they're both doing this, and they're both putting their emotions on the page for us to know that this Yakuza has feelings for him, and it's not just sexual, that there is an underlying, romantic affection and like there, maybe even love. Whereas we know that for Uzuki, it's very much like, well, yeah, maybe I do have some sexual attraction to this man, and I'm going to fully give myself over for one night, and I'm really sorry about that. So it's like yes, they on in terms of their characters, they're getting their wires crossed, but we as the reader fully know the background of both characters, so we as the reader know that this is not something that is sexual assault that will eventually be love, which I think is good. I think this is good about this story. It is full of silliness and funniness, and I do think when it comes to the Yakuza stories, because it's not grounded in realism, then it means the way that they interact with each other can be a little bit more. That's not to say that there won't be sexual assault later on. I don't know, I can't remember. But up to this point, I do like how they have interacted. I do think that when he first found him and then checked that he was a man is just one of the funniest scenes, because he won't punch him, and then he kisses him, and then he fondles him, and he's like, "What is that?" He's like, "It's my penis." Because he's like, how can I be attracted to this man? He can't figure that out. It's so stupid and so silly, and not grounded in realism. But at the same time, it's kind of sweet, and it has a nice sort of feeling to it. It's got a nice atmosphere. So yeah, I've got one more chapter, and then there's a different story at the back, which isn't actually to do with this. So it's like a one-shot story at the back. So I'm gonna finish this and then probably get some more coffee, because my cough is starting to happen again, and yeah, it's not good. It's not good. This made me laugh out loud. This is the end story, and he's calling the guy a scrub. So this is from 2011, so it's not really. I don't know. It dates it, but also I don't know if people in America still use scrub or used it in 2011. Like, I was a teenager when like No Scrubs came out, so obviously I see the word scrub and just instantly think of, no, I don't want no scrubs, scrubs, can't get no love from me. So which made me laugh out loud, but also I was like, hold on, he's using this language, so it doesn't date it correctly. It dates it, but it doesn't date it correctly. I would love to know if someone in America still uses scrub as any kind of terminology in their normal day-to-day conversations, because that would be hilarious. But I'm like, I don't know. I'm wondering how many young people would read this and go, what? Because they obviously weren't teenagers when No Scrubs came out, and might not know TLC. So yeah, that just made me laugh a lot. I was just laughing again, like literally the next page. This story is really quite funny. So there's a kid who lives next door to this guy. He's kind of an adult, so he said he was starting at City Hall, so I'm assuming if he went to university, he would be maybe 21, 22, starting his job at City Hall, and he's taking on this kid who must be like 12 maybe, so there must be a 10-year, at least I would say a 10-year age gap. But the kid is so acerbic. It's just so funny to hear a child say, no, I like watching a grown man get down on his knees. It's just a brilliant line that you would never think a child would say, but actually is actually hilarious. So yeah, I'm enjoying this little extra story as well. It's quite fun. Ooh, this is just a really fun little story. Oh, so this homie girl is fake, and he's trying to show him that she is fake. But he just said, you carry that needle around for poking holes in condoms, don't you? And ooh, like, I'm just saying, guys, I have mentioned this in previous videos, but wow, when you know a woman who everyone this is the thing. So at my workplace, So at my workplace, there was a woman who I was really good friends with. I love her. I think she's great. And there was a guy who I also love. I think he's great. And the two of them ended up getting together, and she got pregnant really fast, even though he was like, we were being careful. And everyone was like, oops, because they really shouldn't have been seeing each other. And at the same workplace, because there's a kind of policy that if you do end up dating someone from your workplace, that one of you gets transferred so that you're not in the same workplace and dating. So anyway, the rumor went round, and it went round before I knew about it, that she's the type of woman, everyone's like, oh, she's the type of woman who would do that. So I was like, no. And they were like, yes. And I was like, no. And they're like, yes. The reason why they did this, and I think it's a little bit to do with the misogyny and inbuilt sexism within Japanese society, is the fact that she had been married and divorced, and she had a 4-year-old child. And everyone in her life, whether it be work or family, were kind of berating the fact that she had been married to someone who ended up being a deadbeat. You know, it's like, it's not your fault you married someone who is a dick and left you and your child. But people seem to blame her for that. Anyway, so she ended up dating this other friend, and then she got pregnant, and they married, and they have more kids now. It's like, for me, I'm like, cool, whatever. But the whole thing about poking holes in the condom, that was what went round really quickly, and not necessarily within the male members of the workspace, but almost every woman in the place was like, all right, she's done that to snare him, because in a way he's a bit of a catch. It wasn't my catch, but I was like really good pals with him. I was good pals with her, so it was kind of like, oh, I don't know how I feel about the fact that I know that these rumors are going around. I'm pretty sure that she probably knew those rumors and just had to ignore them. But I don't think he did. I still don't think he knows. Maybe he did, maybe he suspected. But it's that whole thing of the manipulative woman. But also I'm like, get it, girl. Just because, like, that's the way society is in Japan. And it's so misogynistic, guys. It's so misogynistic. It's so sexist. It is so awful. And, you know, both men and women perpetuate it. And I'm just there being the little foreigner kind of going, whoa, Pikachu face. It's literally like, what? But I did think that was quite funny that this was used in this, because I cannot hear this without thinking of people that I know about, that this is actually like, do I believe that she did? Part of me is like, yeah, actually, do I believe that she's capable of it? 100%. She's perfectly capable of it. 100%. So she is the kind of woman who would be able to do that, but whether or not she actually did, I don't know. But they're happily married with several children now. He adopted her child as soon as they were married, because he actually, I think, fell in love with her kid just as much, or even more so. He loved her child, and I met her child as well. Of course, I fell in love with her child. Her child is great. So yeah, it's all happy now, but at the same time, and that's the kind of thing about life in Japan. It just wouldn't happen in the UK. As far as I know, I could never think of, I don't think I've ever met a woman in the UK who would do something like that, but in Japan it is something that, yeah, I could definitely see happening. Anyway, I'm gonna finish this. I'm so close to the end. Look at that. Look at that. So close to the end. So I just finished volume 1, and I actually really enjoyed the second story, which is When Lies Read Truth, and Manhood Child. Manhood Child is quite a good way to describe this character, because he is so adult in his mannerisms and the way that he speaks. I mean, it's kind of adorable, but also it's kind of sad because there he is with this fully grown adult, and he's just like completely in love with him. And he's a genius. He's a genius. He's got like mental capacity that is well beyond the person sitting next to him. So it is kind of funny, but it's also a little bit weird. I'm not gonna lie, it's a little bit weird. So it's fine because you read these fairly cute little stories about when they were younger, but he is a grown up now, so it's fine. Nothing happened. It's fine. But it is kind of cute that this genius kid was so manipulative to him, and totally in love with someone who is kind of a geeky guy. What I'm really surprised at is the fact that they were able to use the actual word Star Wars and C-3PO R2-D2, because usually they change things like that. I mean, they can't say McDonald's, they have to say Whackdonald's or something like that, you know? So I'm not sure if this was in the original, or if they're actually technically supposed to be allowed to do that. Anyway, I did enjoy the little extra, and I enjoyed Rabbitman Tiger Man Volume 1. I will need to read Volume 2, but I'm kind of hungry, and I also have drank my coffee, so I need more coffee. My throat is still a wee bit sore, and still a wee bit feel like coughing. So I might have a wee snack, and then make some more coffee, and just read Volume 2.
Hello? Hello, hello. Oh, hello, hello. Oh, what are you saying, what are you saying? What are you saying, what are you saying? Oh, hello, hello. Meow. 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 Should I give you something? A wee bit of ham? Okay, I'll give you a wee bit of ham. Mm-hmm. Meow.
You like your bum getting rubbed?
Mm-hmm.
You like your bum getting rubbed?
Whoop. You like your bum getting rubbed.
Oh, you're so cute. So I'm this far through, so I've just finished the second part of Rabbitman Tiger Man, and then the same story that was the side story has a continuation, which I'm actually dead excited about. But this was really good. I had a little visitor, a little cat visitor, which was good. I think it's a girl, I'm not sure. But anyway, they always come round and meow at me and demand ham. give her a wee slice of ham, a wee bit of ham, whatever I've got in my thing. I think it is a she anyway. They were really small, and then they had a little operation because you could see the shaved section on the side, and now they're getting really big. So I think they were small for a long time, so I think there must have been something wrong. Anyway,
I love this. I love this so much. It's a lot of Yakuza shenanigans going on. There's lots of things happening, much more Yakuza in this part of the story. They did not actually do the deed. They got interrupted. And then he ended up sleeping with someone else. But when you find out, you're like, oh, the reasons why he did. He's a smart cookie. He went to Todai, don't you know? It is, I'm like, oh, okay, I'm trying to guess what was happening next. But that's it. That's, in terms of Rabbit Man Tiger Man, that's all we're getting in English. And yet there's 5 volumes in Japanese. It's really annoying. It's annoying. And I had a wee look on Baka Manga updates. And it was that it's from a particular like imprint or monthly magazine, and they must have gone out of business because and in doing so they must have lost the license or something, I don't know, because some of the works that were printed, like Rabbit Man Tiger Man, and also the one that I read just fairly recently that was with was it in November that I read it, and it was really interesting, and it didn't have a 1 on it. In fact, I should probably find it. And it had it had like animal ears as well. What was it called? Is it in here? It must be in here. Wild Honey. Wild Honey was also in the same publication that Rabbit Man Tiger Man was in, and it's a 2-volume series, but we only got the first volume by June, and then I think it's migrated over somewhere else, and seems like, I know, lots of musical chairs when it comes to who's printing what and when, and which printer. Publishers have different things, but yeah, Wild Honey, I actually really enjoyed the first volume, and then at the end it was like to be continued, and I was like, well, where's the second part? So yeah, it's annoying things like that you don't you never get to finish, and it doesn't have a number 1 on it, so you don't know. So yeah, this is my red drawer. So yeah, I need to read the last little section of this, and then I will check in with you and see what I think of this whole thing. But so far, I loved it. It's great. I want more. I want more of them. I need it. Can we start a campaign? Can we get this? And the fact that the 5th volume, I saw recently, you can purchase the 5th volume with a box, so that you can have like a full box set of all of the volumes, and they've got new cover artwork, and I was looking online and it just looks good. And it's annoying because now I'm like, well, what happens next? Oh yeah. June manga. Mind you, it's not really their fault. It's what was going on in the, and it left on a cliffhanger, like, oh, what's gonna happen now? So yeah, I'm gonna finish this one. I'm excited about this story too, so I'll check in once I've finished. I only have a few pages. So I have finished it. I did get interrupted whilst reading this. My sister phoned me, and we had a good old blather for probably about an hour before she goes off to work. I always feel bad because she seems to be the one phoning me, and she is fully aware of this fact. I do send her text messages and funny memes and little like Instagram reels and stuff sometimes. But I always feel like she phones me for the chats rather than me phoning for her for the chats, just because I never know. She's very busy. She's a very busy person, but I do kind of feel a bit bad about it. I also feel like this is the same with my other sister as well. Anyway, let's not get me started on my brother, because we just never, no one talks. Anyway, I finished Rabbit Man Tiger Man volumes 1 and 2. Volume 2, the second story. Let's talk about the second story. I kind of feel like, oh man, I need more of these guys. So they just had like maybe a little bit of hand action, and that's it. And he's still trying to winkle his way in. He's so manipulative. This guy is so manipulative. But he did say he's not 20 yet. So he went away to America, because he's a genius. He went away to America, got his degree, got his doctorate, He skipped all these grades, and he must have been, because he was fanning around with him up until maybe like teenager, maybe middle school age, because he had like probably middle school age, must have been middle school, and then he kissed him and went off to America to get his degree and then his doctorate, and he's not even 20 yet. So when he said he's half his age, and then I think this character is supposed to be 36. What did he say he was? And he's still a le version, at his age, which would make him around, it is almost half, because that's what, 17 years of a difference between the two of them. So yeah, so it's not 10 years, it's 17, which is actually quite a lot. And which just makes some of the things he said as a child even funnier, because he wasn't like 10 or 11, which I thought he must be about 10 or 11. No, he was more like 5 or 6 or something. Such a precocious child. But it just ended up on another little cutesy ending without actually, them. And I do quite like, I don't like age gaps. I just don't like age gaps. But the main thing that I don't like about the age gaps is the feeling of power imbalance. The dynamic makes me feel uncomfortable. Whereas this kind of dynamic doesn't make me feel uncomfortable, purely because the younger is the aggressor and is really pushing for this relationship, and is also incredibly manipulative, and is way more intelligent and good looking, and is just overall a better specimen of a person, and is therefore able to use all of their intelligence and good looks and everything to their advantage to manipulate. So there is a power imbalance. 100%, these two, there is a power imbalance, but it's not based on age. So the age gap isn't the power imbalance. It's the fact that someone is just infinitely better at manipulating the other. So I still, I don't like manipulation. I don't like power imbalances. But only when it comes to an age gap, when the person who is younger is being manipulated by the older, if you get what I mean. This is me. I'm learning about what is it that I truly like. I don't have a problem with this power dynamic. I don't have a problem with the power imbalance. But I only have it when the age gap is the other way around and the older person. That's the only thing. So I found it's not age gap that I dislike. It's something specific within age gap. So there you go. Because I kind of want to see them. I want to see him totally. I want to see him wreck him. I want to see him manipulate him. I'm still coughing. Anyway, I read the whole thing. It sounds like there was a lot of issues with trying to even get this second volume printed. And then she goes on about it being there will be a third volume. But it was during this third volume that things started going haywire. And only a few of the chapters, I think, were published in the monthly magazines. And then we just didn't get the third volume. So now it's not 3 volumes, it's 5 volumes. And I do think we're going to need to start a campaign. So a campaign for the relicensing of Rabbitman Tiger Man. Because Akira Honma, I think she deserves it. I think it's a she. Akira. You never know with Akira. I want to know. It left on a cliffhanger. This is not fair. I want to have access. I might just have to be save up and order them. I did make a conscious choice maybe about 2.5 years ago to stop buying things in Japanese just to have them, because you never know when things do get licensed. There are certain things that I just thought, well, we are never going to get. And so it would be fine to get it in Japanese and then have it in your collection. But we have since been able to get hold of a few things that just were on that list and have them in English. And it's should have just saved my pennies. But this, I'm not sure. But also the box sets are just nice. I like a nice box set. We just don't get this. I do feel that sometimes, the fancy editions and gorgeous artwork and all the extras and stuff like that you get, your experience of being a BL fan, a BL collector in in Japan is so vastly different to being a BL fan or a collector on the other side of the world. I mean, you don't have access to an anime or, you know, fancy cafes and fancy cinema showings and, you know, lotteries and collecting things. Like all of the whole experience of being a BL fan is so vastly different when you're not in Japan or on the other side of the world. Just being able to get access to these things. So yeah, being able to buy the box set of this, and I bet it's just lovely. And the new cover art looks good. I need to find it. If I find it, I'll put it on the screen so you can see. But I want it. Can we start a campaign, guys? Let's bring back some licenses. So license save for Rabbitman Tiger Man. What do you guys think? Are we up for it? So yeah. Because I was chatting to my sister, it is a little bit darker, so I've had to put the light on. Just because it is starting to get a wee bit grayer. But before we go, I did say we were going to open some packages. Because I'm near the end. I've read it. Done. I think let's go and see if we can open some packages. So this is my little stack. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 things to open, but I'm not going to open them all on camera. Just now. I'll probably just open these small ones here at the top. So yeah, these are my 2. I could read the other Akira Honma ones, but I'll probably just put them off to the side. The Judged and Last Portrait, so if you're interested. Let's have a wee look, see what we've got. Put these over to the side as well. What did I get? I'll have fun with him. Anyway, this one here, I think I know what it is, because it took a while and I totally forgot I had ordered it. And you're going to laugh at me, and that's fine, you can laugh at me. Go ahead. I wonder if it's okay, yes. Oh. Rush. So I did say in my videos that I managed to, and I haven't even released some of the videos that I made just like maybe a couple of weeks ago, about the fact that I was like, oh, I don't care about this. It's a little bit beat up. This is issue number 1, and it's got a lot of people who have also made other boys love-esque stuff. That's usually graphic novels or original English language. And I was like, I don't care, it's original English language and I don't want it. But I saw this and I did say that I would get it for a good price. I didn't get it for the best price. I was saying around £5 and I think I got it for more like £10. But still, it made me feel better because I just have completionist tendencies and I don't like knowing that I've got volume 0 but I don't have volume 1. There's no other volumes, it's just these 2 as part of the Drama Queen. But it does make me feel more like, there you go. You know, like even if I said to myself, you don't care, you don't want it, you don't want to read it, you don't want it in your collection, you do not give a shit. But there's part of me's going, but there's a 1 and a 2, or there's an A and a B, there's a set, it's that whole thing of completing collections that really just bugs me and irks me, but it's part of my personality and I can't help it. So yeah, I did manage to get up this copy of Rush. Yeah, I think it was around £10, maybe £11 with shipping. But yeah, and kind of annoying, but does make me feel better. So I still count the fact that I completed my collection last year. This is just an extra. This is just how I'm parceling that thought in my head. So let's have a look at this other one. I don't know if I need. I don't think I need this. Oh. 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 Better change it. It had my. Wanted to check to see if there was anything written on it. There it was. Let's see. This one, I think. Yes. Ta-da! It is Volume 2 of The Other World's Books Depend on the Bean Counter. Volume 2 is actually softer than I thought it was going to be. I do not have Volume 1. This was on eBay for like 99p or £2 or something. You know, it's like really, really cheap as an auction. And they had Volume 1 and 2. This is obviously a Yen Press title. And I was like, oh, yay! Anyway, the person who got Volume 1 put like an extra 50p on their bid and outbid me the very last second. Damn it. So, unfortunately, I got Volume 2 without Volume 1, so I can't read this. But I don't really mind too much because Volume 3 is supposed to come out this year, so I've got... I want to read Volume 1, 2 and 3 all together. I really want to read this, so I really want to read this because it's a new title. But it's also, I'm just letting you know now, the only BL title that's physical that has the word other. And for the Buzzword Readathon, one of the months it's other. It's not brother, it's not mother, it's not another, it's just other. And that's like the buzzword. So for doing it as a BL manga challenge, I was like, I don't think I have any. And then I looked at see what was coming out and what some of the newer titles were. And this one. And everyone says it's great and I really want to read it. Some of the newer titles are just so exciting. So yeah, that's my other one. So I'm quite happy. Could I open the other ones? Should I? I don't know what's this one. We could open this one. One more. But I am happy by this one. I don't know what I have. Can this one do it? Go with the one that has the dot on it. Ooh. Let's see. Ooh, Birds of Shangri-La, Volume 2, Ranma Rosaria. Now I have Volume 1 and I've read Volume 1, so I can read this one. I think I got this for £6.99, which is really good when the recommended retail price is $9.99. So to get this for £6.99 is a good deal. There's so many that are available for £6.99 at the moment that I haven't picked up yet. And that's like the price, the £7 price that I've set myself as a sort of maximum. So yeah, I can read this. So this can go in the read pile. And I do want to try and see if I can read it before the end of the month. That's one of the things, like I know 1330s are generally going to be happening, probably because they're so much fun. But I have so many things I could read. I don't want to say, oh, I'll save this for that month. I want to just read what I buy. So that's another one. So those are the three that I'll show you. I have no idea what's in the other ones. I'll have to check. So that one, I really want to read one that I can read, and this one that I don't give a shit about. So those are the three that I'll show you. So that's everything. I'm not going to make this a really long video because there's not really much to say. In terms of this, I love it. We should start a campaign. That's all I've got to say about it. I hope Katie enjoys it. Maybe she will, maybe she won't. I'll send her a message and see how she's getting on. I think she's just posted it on Twitter as well, that we are reading it. Generally, we say around the 20th, but we're kind of relaxed and chill about it. So I don't feel bad that I got a cough and was in bed for a bit. And that I still have a bit of a cough. I don't feel bad about having like time, because really with me and Katie it's just whenever, and if not then that's cool too. So yeah, I like how relaxed this little buddy read is that we have got going on. So yeah, hopefully Katie's having a better February. Oh my god, I still want to read this. Yeah, volume 3 I think is out in May or June. And yeah, so I need to get volume 1 and volume 3 when it comes out, and this one I can read. But I really enjoyed Rabbitman Tigerman. We shall start a campaign. What am I doing for the rest of today? My dishes. I will eat something else. I'm probably going to have ramen. And also, yeah, I'll have ramen. Ramen with some pork, an egg and some spring onion. Nice, spicy ramen. That's what I'll have. And for this evening, I'll probably listen to an audiobook. And I'm going to see if I can curl my hair naturally. So if if I do that and it turns out okay, I'll show you here. Hopefully I did manage it. If I didn't, well, then you're just looking at Rubber Man Tiger Man. But yeah, hopefully my hair is my plan for this evening, because that seems to be all over social media just now. Like people taking back control of their natural curls, and I have naturally wavy and curly hair. And as you can see, there's a double decker there. It's just a fun size double decker. I will be eating that too. That's my plans for the evenings. I'd love to know what your plans are. I hope you enjoyed this little mini vlog. It's not a very big one. And I hope that if you are interested in getting Akira Honma, that you can manage to pick up these ones. They have been quite difficult to get hold of. Don't pay through the nose if you can't, because otherwise, instead, just start a campaign to get them a license saved. And so, you know, if you want to, maybe you should start spamming all of the... Yeah, that's the thing I'm going to be using now. From now on, I'm going to be spamming like Sublime and Seven Seas and Yen Press and all them. When they say like, hey, what do you want? I'm going to be saying Rubber Man Tiger Man. I want a new set. Thank you very much. I don't mind if I already have this. I want a new one. So I want to find out what happens. But yeah, hopefully you enjoyed this video. I'm 365801. I make videos about BL, manga, yaoi, memory romance, all that good stuff. So yeah, thanks for watching to the end. Take care, guys. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.